This is Judith Lay welcoming you to Manx Radio and to the podcast of this week's edition of At Your Service. Manx Radio! In our main feature this morning, we'll be talking about and giving thanks for more than 60 years of the Peel Beach Mission. So it seems fitting that we should start with this hymn. Brother, sister, let me serve you, let me be as Christ to you. On the notice board over the last 2 weekends, I've been reminding you of the daily activities on the promenade and evening events in the Corrin Hall led by the Peel Beach Mission team. Blessed with perfect weather this year for daily games on the beach and evening activities like scavenger hunts, quizzes and entertainment evenings for all ages. And some of the musicians in the team took time to spend an afternoon at Castleview Nursing Home, enjoying excellent cakes and leading a great sing-along there. But as I've also mentioned, this will be the last ever Peel Beach Mission. And I promised that before they left, I'd catch up with the team, not just to chat, but to say a sincere thank you for over 60 years of a beach mission that's been enjoyed by so many youngsters. Joining me now is team leader Pam Clarkson. Pam, good morning and welcome, and a huge thank you for over 60 years of dedicated service, offering the story of Jesus through stories, games and friendship at the heart of the Peel Beach Mission. Now, each year's beach mission has been led by a mix of local people and folk from across, from Christian churches of different denominations. But their dedication is very real because for many of them, this has meant taking 1 or 2 weeks holiday from work. So with that in mind, team leader Pam Clarkson, what are your thoughts at the end of this, your last ever beach mission?
We've been coming to Peel since 1965. The whole thing started just by a chance meeting. My late husband, Michael Clarkson, came on the United Beach Missions team in Douglas in 1964. And on his day off, he went to the agricultural show because he was a vet. And there he met a Christian couple who were farmers. in Peel, and they said, why don't you come to Peel? Why don't you come? We've got a beautiful beach. Why don't you come to Peel? So in a very wet and windy January, Michael and another of the UBM colleagues came to look at Peel, and even though it was so wet and windy and such a horrible day, they decided that Peel would be a perfect place for them to come to. So it's set up as UBM, United Beach Missions, in 1965.
I love stories that start off with chance meetings, because don't you feel that when it's a chance meeting that it's God's hand on something?
It certainly is, and it certainly was. So they set up as a United Beach Missions team in 65. Michael led it for the first 2 years, and then there was somebody else took over. And in 1972, Michael came back with a team from our local church, which was in St Helens across. And the team grew from there, quite a few from our local church. But then in 1975, United Beach Missions decided that that was going to be their last mission in Peel, because they weren't able to get the volunteers to come. Most of them came from Northern Ireland. It was expensive. And for the teams that they had across, they could hitch lifts in those days, so it didn't cost them. So in 1976, the Isle of Man for Christ crusade that was then, they approached Michael and asked if he would be willing to run the team as just an independent. So in 1976, we became Peel Beach Mission.
Nice and simple, but it shows that commitment, that you really felt that this was the right place to be. Now, the Peel Beach Mission has always served local children, hasn't it?
It has. Yes, we haven't had many holiday makers over the years. We have had some, but our main thing has been with local children. And we have had those who came as children have actually been on the beach team. There's one, Karen. She came as a 12-year-old with her sisters, and she made a commitment and has really been following God ever since. She's worked in churches. We've had a young girl called Caroline who always came along as a child with her sister. Mother brought her, and she's been on the team for the last 2 years and is really going on as a Christian. We had one young lad who you've probably heard of called Ian. He came along with his granny to one of our film nights that we held in the Methodist Church, and he heard really for the first time about Jesus and how God created the world, because that was what the film was about. And he's since gone on to really grow as a Christian. It took a long time, the Lord working in his life, and now as an adult he's going overseas preaching the gospel. We've had so many that we've heard about. There was another young girl, and I can't remember her name. She ended up working as a Scripture Union worker in schools across, and I'm sure there are many others that we really don't know about. We plant the seeds and the Lord waters them.
Everything that you do is Bible-based, but it's about friendship and fellowship. And God is in there in a very relaxed and there's no pressure at all. I think that's a huge strength of the beach missions.
It is. We try to make it fun.
But after 61 years, a hard reality has had to be faced. But the mission is finishing on a positive note.
The numbers are dropping, and that's part of the reason why we're finishing, because children all go to holiday clubs where the parents get all-day care, which obviously we can't provide. But we've had a core group of lads really that have come, and there've been about 10 to 12 of them, with girls as well. But it's very unusual for us to have had young teenage boys. We've had youth meetings throughout the week this week, which have been really well attended. They've done fun games. They've just talked leisurely about Jesus and about who he is and what he means to people and what he means to the leaders. And they've been very attentive. We've been really encouraged. We really feel that God has been working in Peel this 2 weeks, and our prayer is that it may continue.
The Beach Mission team are leaving behind lots of leaflets summarising the history of the Peel Beach Mission and including the offer of a free book that they've been using over the last couple of weeks. You'll find the leaflet, it's blue, in Peel Methodist Church and probably other churches in the area too. But if you can't find a leaflet and you'd like a free copy of the book that's on offer, just email peelbeachmission63@gmail.com. That's peelbeachmission, all one word, and the numbers 6 and 3, peelbeachmission63@gmail.com, and one will be sent to you free of charge. The book's called The Man on the Middle Cross by Christian writer and preacher Alistair Begg. And in it, he imagines a scene based on the account of the crucifixion of Jesus. In Luke's Gospel, we read that Jesus was crucified with 2 criminals, one on either side of him. One mocked Jesus, saying, "If you really are Christ, the Son of God, then save yourself and save us too." The other criminal realised that Jesus had done nothing wrong and believed that he was indeed the Son of God. And so he asks Jesus to do something for him. He says, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." Jesus replies, "Truly I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise." In his book, author Alistair Begg imagines the criminal arriving in heaven and being asked why he should be allowed in. The man can't boast of his good deeds, his religious understanding, his faith, or his family background. The only answer he can give is, "Because the man on the middle cross said I could come."
And it's as simple as that. To put your faith in Jesus is just as simple as that. And we just pray for those who we've spoken to this week that may have gone home to them and that they will see that Jesus is the way to life.
Pam, your own faith is strong and shining. Looking back over your own faith journey, were there significant people who took your hand, said something to you, spent a little time with you?
Yes, there were. I don't ever remember not believing in God, so I don't have like a fantastic coming to faith. But it was gradually through Sunday school teachers to a certain extent, but to one particular curate we had at our church who really made me see the reality of Jesus and want to be able to tell others. He used to take us out to different churches to give testimonies, to tell people about Jesus, and I really had to think it through then. And also, my late husband, Michael, he was a really good youth leader, and he used to take us out on teams, and he'd really, really question us and make us think about our faith.
Pam, we will be sad to not see those familiar turquoise shirts on our beaches for a couple of weeks in August, but it's a great wisdom in knowing when a ministry has served its time. And you just said something earlier on that I think is very much at the heart of this. When you started it, there were far fewer holiday clubs, summer activities, organised activities for children. It's very different now. There are all kinds of things, and things that feed into their particular interests, be it music or sport or drama. But huge thanks for all that you've brought faithfully year by year. And sometimes it's faithful witness, just going on doing things that touches other people, isn't it?
It is, and we're very thankful to the people of Peel. The churches have made us very welcome. Just the general public, they've been very supportive of us over the years, and we are so grateful for that, because we would not have come back if we hadn't been made welcome. The Peel Town Commissioners were very generous towards us, and they've granted us permission for things that we in the past didn't think we'd be able to do. So we have got a lot to be thankful for, and I just pray that there may be somewhere for these youngsters to go that they feel comfortable in. We will still keep in touch with people, me particularly, because I've been associated with the beach team since 1972. I have lots of friends, Christians, non-Christians in Peel, and I will come back and visit, and I will keep in touch with them. And I know that a few of the team too have made good friends over here, so we won't abandon Peel altogether.
Just come as a holiday maker. Just come and walk on the beach and eat an ice cream. Finally, Pam, because this is just me being curious, I'm absolutely sure that you're in a position of leadership or have some special involvement in your own church. Just tell me what it is when you're not on the beach in Peel. What do you do?
Well, my main thing is I run a youth group on a Friday evening for 7s to 11s. Some of the members of the team I have as helpers, and then a few of us who are on the team are planning to do a holiday club in our own church next summer because we're not here. And I also am going to start teaching in the Sunday school, which we call Youth Church, in September. So my time's full.
And a plug for your church is?
As Holy Trinity Church in Spittal on the Wirral.
Pam Clarkson, thank you very much indeed for talking to me today.
Thank you.
The Lord bless you and keep you. Sir John Rutter's Blessing, sung by the Cambridge Singers and dedicated to the Peel Beach Mission team with our thanks for their ministry here. One of the many important projects started during this Year of the Manx Language has been the reprinting of the Bible in Manx. The Bible Society, working internationally and committed to making the Bible available in as many different languages and formats as possible, is massively invested in this project and, through the work of their digital publishing and translation advisor, Neil Rees, have already produced a free Android and iPhone app offering the complete Bible in Manx. And on Tynwald Day this year, an attractive new printed bilingual edition of the Gospel of St Luke was launched. It has the Manx language on the left-hand page and the English translation on the right-hand page. Neil Rees was here for the launch and was delighted to see so much interest at the stand outside the Methodist Church right opposite the Fairfield at St John's. Neil was keen to explain how, without changing the language, it's been possible to make the original text so much easier to use.
I think we're now used to modern Bibles, aren't we, with subheadings and broken into paragraphs. And the old Manx Bible didn't do that. And without changing the language, we can just paragraph it, put in subheadings, and it's just easier to deal with. You can find the story you want, can't you? And just go to that section.
As you'll hear in a few moments, Neil still has plans for us here on the island as we celebrate the 250th anniversary of the first publication of the Bible in Manx. But he's got an even bigger anniversary to mark at the same time.
I think you're referring to the 500th anniversary of the first printed English New Testament. So in 1526, William Tyndale had finished translating the New Testament from Greek. It had never been translated into English from Greek before. And the printing presses were a fairly newfangled invention then as well. So it had never been printed either. So we've got this double anniversary, 1526, 500 years ago this year. We got the first time the English New Testament been translated from Greek and printed. And they printed thousands of them, but it was illegal in England at the time. So they were smuggled in, and it was a bestseller, which really worried the authorities, and they were gathering them up and burning them. Incredible to think now that Britain was a country where the Bible was illegal and it was smuggled in. Don't forget that at the end of the 1300s, the Bible had been translated into English by followers of John Wycliffe, and the whole Bible was finished about 1382, we think, from Latin. The problem was there was no printing press then, so they had to be hand copied. And so it wasn't really available to the ordinary people, and very few people were literate anyway, even if not many people could read it, even if they wanted to. But there were enough people that could read it and read it to others. But then there was the Peasants' Revolt, and the authorities thought that what was really to blame was the fact that people could read the Bible in English. So in 1407, new laws that came in that said you cannot translate the Bible. It wasn't completely forbidden, but it was like the caveat was you had to have a bishop's permission. The thing was, no bishop ever gave permission. Then the problem is, if he did translate it, no printer in London would touch it because it's unofficial, it's illegal. And so he had to leave England, and he went to Germany, and he went to Wittenberg, where Luther was, and where they were teaching Greek and Hebrew. And he went to Worms, where there was good printers, and they started to typeset it and set it all out. And he got caught and betrayed. And then he went along the River Rhine to Worms, and then he started all over again and finished the New Testament. And that was what was smuggled into England 500 years ago.
Neil, it's an amazing story, and you tell it with that intensity.
You are right. I mean, a lot of people have an English Bible, don't they? And they take it for granted. They don't know the people that struggled, that even died in the cause to get what we've got. And we take our freedoms for granted, really, don't we? I mean, a lot of Christians might have half a dozen copies at home, might they, in different versions. And yet in other countries, they haven't got even a Bible in their own language, or even if they have, it's hard to get hold of because they live remotely or they live in a country where the regime's not friendly to it. So I think it's good to remind English-speaking Christians of our history to then make you realise, hang on, we benefited from that, now let's help others.
Absolutely fascinating, Neil. Thank you very much indeed. So now we've got this far, what's the next plan?
I'm afraid my head is full of ideas. I've met a number of people who are good Manx speakers, a number of people who want to be good Manx speakers that are learning the language. And I've been giving out copies of this bilingual Gospel of Luke. But next year we are planning to republish the whole Manx Bible. So if you imagine the Bible Society, we last published it in the Victorian era. The text hasn't changed since. But if you want to get hold of a copy, you've got to trail through second-hand bookstores or go on eBay or something like that. So we're going to retypeset it and publish it next year. And that's the whole Bible. It'll be in a fresh typesetting. It'll look nice and modern. But another idea of mine, well, of ours, I think, is to do an audio version. So I've met a number of people who speak good Manx who said, I would love to read a book of the New Testament. And what we can do now with modern technology is we can marry an audio text with the written text so that as you listen, that verse is highlighted so you can read and listen at the same time. And I think that'd be a great benefit to people that are trying to learn the language, and they can listen to it spoken fluently and follow the text in passages they already know in English, so they know what they're talking about. But I think that'd be a wonderful thing.
Thank you, Neil Rees of the Bible Society. And I can tell you now that the project Neil described there, reading the New Testament in Manx, will happen. We're making plans already, and we'll be talking more about it on this programme in the very near future. And now, as usual, let's finish off with a look at our notice board. Once again, churches and chapels around the island will be offering refreshments during the Manx Grand Prix. Bride Church Hall will be open from the 21st to the 24th of August from 11:30am to 4:30pm, serving delicious homemade scones, cakes and sandwiches. And on Manx Grand Prix race days, starting on Saturday the 22nd, food will be served in Sulby Methodist Church. Everything from sandwiches and cakes to hot meals, and it's all homemade. And in that very popular spectator spot at Union Mills, the Methodist Church there will be opening their doors and providing a warm welcome and plenty of hospitality throughout the Manx Grand Prix, from today right through to Friday the 28th of August. Tea and cakes will be available every day, with homemade pies, sausage rolls and sandwiches on race days. The folk at Union Mills Methodist Chapel say, "We love being able to open our doors, welcome visitors and serve our local community, and we'd love to see you." And some more advance news if you enjoy walking and exploring the island. The Triskelion Way, often known locally as the Manx Camino, is a pilgrimage trail running 37 miles across the Isle of Man through stunning coast and hill scenery, linking the historic centres of Rushen Abbey, Peel Cathedral and Mackald. At the end of this month, over the bank holiday weekend, there's a chance to walk the entire route split up over 4 consecutive days, from Friday the 28th to Monday the 31st of August. You're welcome to join in for all or part of the 4-day walk that offers a chance to take time out for reflection, poetry, prayer and silence. Ancient heritage will be visited along the way: keels, early chapels, carved crosses and holy wells. The terrain varies from sheltered glen to rugged moorland, from high cliff top to dramatic waterfall. If this interests you and you'd like to know more, have a chat with one of the walk leaders. You can contact Phil Crane on his mobile 437 248 437 248 or email philcrane44@gmail.com. That's Phil Crane, all one word, with the numbers 44@gmail.com. philcrane44@gmail.com. And that's all that we have time for now. This is Judith saying thank you for listening and wishing you and those you love a blessed and peaceful week and a very good morning.
The Nation Station.